Budget constraints are the constraint on one's ability to purchase or to consume goods. Let's look at some theory behind budget constraints. The budget constraint is a combination of goods and services that the person is able to purchase with a given income. The analysis assumes that each of the goods in question have prices associated with them. The slope of the budget constraint measures the trade-off that the individual is able to make between the two goods. Individuals are not able to buy things on credit and must pay cash for them. Colleen earns $100 per week. During the week, she needs to buy meals and put gas into her car. Her meals cost her $10 and the gas costs her $4 per gallon. There are two questions that need to be asked. How many meals could Colleen buy if she spent all of her money on meals? The second question is, how many gallons of gas could Colleen buy if she spent all of her money on gasoline? The formula for calculating the maximum amount of goods that an individual is able to purchase with a given income is income divided by the price of the good. Let's look at an example of budget constraints. To calculate the maximum amount of each good that Colleen could purchase, she would need to divide her income by the price of the good. The maximum amount of meals that Colleen can buy is her income, $200, divided by the price of the meal, $10. This means she can buy a maximum of 20 meals. The maximum amount of gas Colleen can buy with her income of $200 is her income, $200, divided by the price of the gasoline, $4. This means she can buy 50 gallons of wheat per gas. Let's see how this looks on the graph. Before looking at the budget constraint graphically, let's take a minute to look at the structure of the graph. The horizontal axis represents the quantity of meals, and the number of meals that Colleen consumes increases as we move from left to right. The vertical axis represents the quantity of gasoline that Colleen is able to purchase, and the quantity of gasoline increases as we move from the bottom to the top of the axis. As you may remember, the maximum amount of meals that Colleen is able to purchase is found by using the formula income divided by the price of the good. Since Colleen earns $200 per week and her meals cost her $10 a week, we'll substitute in $200 for her income and $10 for the price of the good, in this case her meals. Dividing $200 by $10 gives 20 meals, so the maximum amount of meals that Colleen is able to purchase in a given week with her $200 is 20. On the graph, place a dot at 0 gallons of gas and 20 meals. This represents the maximum amount of meals that Colleen is able to purchase. As you may remember, the maximum amount of gasoline that Colleen is able to purchase is found by using the formula income divided by the price of the good. Since Colleen earns $200 a week and her gasoline costs her $4 per gallon, $200 is substituted in for the formula for income and $4 is substituted into the formula for the price of good. Dividing 200 by $4 gives 50 gallons. On the graph, place a dot at 50 gallons of gasoline and 0 meals. Once the maximum amount of meals and the maximum amount of gasoline is calculated, a line can be drawn between the two values. The line between the two maximum values of consumption represents the budget constraint. Economists often refer to this line as the budget line or the budget constraint line. One question that needs to be considered is what happens if the budget line if the price of one of the goods changes. Let's have the price of meals decrease from $10 to $5 per meal, and the price of gasoline will remain unchanged. Colleen will first need to recalculate the maximum number of meals that she can afford. Remember, the formula is income divided by the price of the good. Colleen's income is fixed at $200 and the cost of her meals are now $5. So $200 is substituted in for the income and $500 is substituted in for the price of the meal. By dividing $200 by $5 gives $40 a meal, or 40 meals. So place a dot at 40 meals and 0 gallons of gas. Notice the maximum amount of gasoline remains unchanged at $50. A new line is drawn from the maximum amount of 50 gallons of gas to the new maximum amount of meals. Let's see what happens when the price of meals increases to $20. First, we need to remember that the formula for calculating the maximum amount of meals is going to be income divided by the price of the good. The new price of the meals is $20, so we're going to substitute in $20 for the new price of the price of the meal, and $200 will be for our income. Dividing 200 by 20 gives us 10 meals. We're going to place a dot at the point where Colleen buys no gasoline and buys only 10 meals. And then we're going to draw a line from the 50 gallons of gas to the 10 meals. The important thing to notice is that as the price of the good changes, the budget constraint will rotate either to the right or to the left. It will rotate to the right as the price of the goods gets cheaper, and it will rotate to the left as the price of the goods gets more expensive.